Hey guys, it's Carter. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day today. Now in today's video, I wanted to jump in and show you guys kind of my approach on how I use FINVIZ to make a minimum of $100 a day. So I hope you guys all enjoy this. If you do, smash that like button and subscribe. But if you guys want to learn more about swing trading, trading in the market, check out our school. It's fantastic. We have private live streams, quizzes, lectures, a group chat, but more importantly, we actually teach you to trade. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not alerts or anything like that. It's honest strategies that I've learned over the past 7 years. So sign up. I'll see you guys in there. And let's have a quick word from today's sponsor, which is the broker that I've been using over the past 7 years, which is Moomoo. I know a lot of you are just getting started with investing, and one app that I've been using is called Moomoo. It's super beginner friendly, but still gives you pro level tools like live market data, easy to read charts, and news all in one place. And the best part, new users can get up to 60 free stocks when you open up an account with qualifying deposit. And honestly, that's actually why I tried it. And I've been using it ever since. Check out the link down below if you guys are curious. So if you guys are just getting started, check out our school and honestly, sign up with Moomoo because they're a great broker. They offer paper trading, fraction shares, AI tools to help you. So they're really just a really cool broker, and I love using them. But the biggest thing is I wouldn't recommend a product that I don't use myself. So check them out. All right, enough with that. Let's kind of jump into this and load up FINVIZ and get this thing rocking and rolling. So FINVIZ.com. This is, for those of you that don't know, this is a stock scanner, stock screener, whatever you want to call it here. But what I use it for is obviously just finding opportunity. And that's what it mainly is to look and scan for plays. So you guys can see here that we got the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, we got the Russell 2000. You know, as a trader, it's important to just look at the general market so we kind of know the conditions for the day ahead. As we scroll down, the next thing I look at obviously are going to be these high gainers, the top losers. But as like a swing trader, honestly, we really don't pay too much attention to those just because as a swing trader, you're buying a stock and you're holding it for, days and weeks. And with a position up 90%, you're really not going to be getting in on that because you're going to be getting in on highs most of the time. And then on the top losers, often these stocks are extremely volatile. But as we scroll down, sometimes we'll pay attention to these. This is the signal area. So we have like trendline support, we have resistance, we got channel up, all of these, which honestly, you can find some plays off them. So it's important to just kind of glance at them, like hover over them so you can kind of just see relatively quick and see if there's anything that looks interesting here. But we'll continue to move on. Now, right here, we got the S&P 500 map. So if we click on that, it brings up the S&P. Also, what I do think is important here is to just look at the general sectors. So you can look at it this way, or you can actually go ahead and click the screener tab up here and go to groups. Sorry. Once you do that, you can see the week and month performance of certain sectors. And maybe as you start trading, you can focus on those types of sectors. So you can see in the past week, we've seen healthcare perform well. In the past month, we've seen some good sectors, 3-month technology, and so on and so on. So as you start looking for opportunity, you can add these to your scanner here with FINVIZ, which is cool. So we'll go to the screener tab, and this is where you're going to spend like 99% of your time anyways. So a lot of this depends on your approach, right? It depends on your strategy, your mindset, but we'll talk about what I've done. If you're watching this video and you're expecting to get rich quick, I'm sorry, this is not the video for you. If you're going to be watching this video and you're going to put in some of the criteria and you're going to focus on learning and education before you guys invest, you're in a good spot. But I want to bring this up because people will constantly go on and say, oh, Carter, I can't get rich quick. I can't make money. Well, yeah, it makes sense. You've been trading for literally 3 hours. It makes sense, right? There's traders that I know that, were profitable week 1, month 2, month 3, and they go to me and they go, Carter, this is easy. And then after 6 months, a year, they're down, thousands of dollars. Instead of using that money, they could have invested into education, focused on learning. I want to bring that up because it's very, very important before we get into some of this heavier material here. All right. Let's talk about this. So, my approach here, I love the expression miss, make it simple, stupid. I'm not going to overcomplicate trading. I'm going to focus on a strategy that works well for me. So, the first thing I look at and I'll do is you can adjust the sector tab. Now, like I said, you can. You don't have to. I normally don't. But what we really want to find is going to be, is actually going to be the performance here. So performance right here, the biggest thing is I want to stock with an upward trend. I think trends are probably one of the most underutilized thing a trader doesn't pay attention to. They expect a stock on a downward trend to magically recover, a stock on an upward trend to be overvalued, when often they're wrong, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to the past month or past year. Sorry, we'll go past year up 10%. And you guys can see that we still have over 3,000 stock left. So after that here, what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to change the average volume right here. The average volume, we want to go over 500K. So we don't have any problems getting in and out of positions. After that, we'll go ahead and go to relative volume and we'll go over zero point 0.5. So we'll go, that's under, where's over right here, over 0.5. So relative volume essentially is just the overall demand for the stock. The higher up you go, so if you like go over 10, these are going to be stocks that we looked at that are like up 90%, 100%, that are very, very, very volatile and often are more day trading stocks. So we'll go over, zero point 0.5 for now. And the biggest thing is we always can change it later, which I think is important. So the next thing here that we'll do, and you don't have to do it, is you can go channel up to make sure we have a stock on that upward trend, which is important here. So after that, what we could do is change the price. If you guys are starting out with like a smaller account, sometimes you can go under 50 bucks so you can capitalize on share size. But nowadays with a broker like Moomoo that offers fraction shares, it's not that big of a deal. And you guys can see we went from 3,000 stocks down to about 75, which is really cool. So after that, what I do is I go to the performance 2 right here, which is just another performance tab. And we want to go week down. So stock on an upward trend the past year, the week has gotten some sell off, right? So now here, what we'll do is we can go to charts and we can look for potential. So like ASM here, the absolute first play looks like there's potential. And I'll explain to you why. So looking at this, you can click on it and see just a general approach here. Stock got good buying pressure up to 450, sold off a little bit. So now what I do often is I'll pull it up on my charting system. So we have ASM, which is a, let's see what this company is. This is a silver and gold mine. So we'll look at the general long-term trend right here. So you guys can see just a huge amount of buying pressure we've seen out of the stock here, which is good because buying pressure is important. Now, sometimes with a stock squeezing up like this much, this quick, could be a little nerve-wracking because it's gone from 85 cents to $4 in a couple of months. So that's something to take note of. And percentage-wise, guys, that's over 400%. So I'd be surprised, honestly, if you would ever see me take a position like this. But we'll show you kind of what we look for. So right here, one of the indicators we'll look at is the RSI, which stands for the Relative Strength Index. And you guys can see here, it's trading for 45, which the last time it was trading for 45 was back in this range where we saw some good buying pressure. Previous to that was in here where we saw some good buying pressure. So there could be some momentum looking at the hourly time frame here. We do have this general downward trend right now. So in order for me to be interested, I would ideally like a push above that trend. So what we could do is throw an alert, be prepared if it pops up. But it really don't feel too confident because it's underneath that $5 window anyways. And normally I do like to trade stocks a little bit above that. But Not that big of a deal. So we'll go back to the screener tab and we'll just continue to look for plays. And yeah, sometimes you'll go through and you might not find something. And sometimes you'll go through and it looks like every stock carries potential. So this one here, EXE, might carry some potential. Let's continue to go through this here. Something like this might. All right, something like this looks relatively good. This is TGTX, and I'll explain to you why it looks relatively good. So we got TGTX. This one here, you guys can see. One of the main reasons I like this one is it does have trends in our favor, right? So look at this blue line here that we're drawing. Right? Each and every time it hits this line, what happens? We get buying pressure, which is very, very important. So it hits it, buying pressure, 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 buying pressure. Okay. Good buying pressure. RSI is at a 47. It's a little high, but we've seen some good buying pressure in the short term. So we'll see. But also, let's look at the hourly time frame. You guys can see here that we've seen, honestly, a little bit of some volatility, but more importantly, we do have a little bit of a trend like this, and we do have a trend like this right here. So you can see just that general downward trend like that. So if it pops up above that trend line, it would be a strategy called a resistant breakout, or pretty much a breakout approach. So that would be the play. Entering here at 37, stops below 35. Let's go ahead and plan this out. So if it pushes above that, stop here for a push up to highs at 40. Gives a 2-to-1 risk and reward. So risking about $1 to make about $2, which is pretty good. And so this is what we continue to do as a new trader, is to just go through this and continue to look. And if you have a hard time finding stocks, just go through and adjust some of these, right? And anything that carries potential, you always can save it and use it as a later date. So that's what I do. That scanner is a basic scanner. In the school, we teach you guys a bunch of scanners with Mumu, FINVIZ, all of them. And I would highly recommend checking it out. But this is what I've done to make a minimum of $100 a day off FINVIZ. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, follow, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.